Heather McDonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Whoop whoop. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. Lots of juicy topics to talk about. And then I have a fabulous interview with Amber Rose. She's drop dead gorgeous. She's here and in person. We got into her life, what she's up to now. And she's just really honest. And I thoroughly enjoyed her. So first, let's get into the hottest news that has come out this morning that matters to me. And that is Colton Underwood is gay. He is the Bachelor from a few years ago. He was a contestant, and then he announced he was a virgin as a contestant. I think they did hometowns, but he was not chosen. He became the Virgin Bachelor. He fell in love with a girl, Cassie. They were together for about a year and a half, and then they broke up. It was quite dramatic in that he was kind of stalking her and harassing her to the point that she filed her restraining order. She then retracted the restraining order and didn't go forward with it. And then we just didn't hear from him for a while. Last night when I heard he was going to be on Good Morning America with Robin Roberts, I immediately said, he's coming out. He's gay. I've just always felt it. I'm sure I'm not the only one who thought of this. I'm just saying it's one of my predictions who have come true. I think I may have said it on one of my shows prior to it. But, you got to be really careful about this stuff. And we've been psyched by other big stars that say they have a big announcement and then they reveal they have migraines or psoriasis. And you're like, we thought you were going to say you were a lesbian. We thought you were going to say you murdered someone. Like, can you give us something more? So last night, I just had to get in on it. And I posted, I predict Colton is coming out. But if I'm wrong, I'm excited to hear about his psoriasis and possible cure. Just in case he wasn't coming out, I don't want to shame anyone. I don't want to point at someone that isn't ready to say they're gay. So I think if I ever thought it and said it to you guys, I think I was maybe did on Patreon or something. But anyway, our prediction, our thoughts were right. His interview with Robin, which they showed a little bit of it. I think there's more in prime time where you're going to see his parents. Anyway, it was really beautiful. And so once I found out, I wrote this. I said, another prediction of mine has come true. Good for Colton. Everyone should live their authentic life, which obviously I totally believe in. And he was so nervous. He's like swallowing. You just really felt for him. You totally understand how this can happen. He said he knew he was different at 6 and knew he was gay by the time he was a freshman in high school. And in playing football, every time he would mess up a play or something, what everyone would say is that's gay or some derogatory term that then went with, screwing up in football. And he was raised Catholic. He went to Catholic schools. And so he would pray to God, please take this gay away, please. And then when he got chosen to be the Bachelor, he said, thank you, God, you're giving me this gift so that I will find a wife, get engaged, get married, have the house, have the kids, and no longer be gay. I'll find this woman that will make me stop being gay. So he wrote a book a few years ago after his season while he was with Cassie, announcing I've had sex. But in there, he did say there were times I wondered if I was gay. And he also said in the interview with Robin, I never really knew why I was being a virgin, why it wasn't, I guess it really wasn't as religious as he thought, but he had no real desire to be with women and he didn't want to act on being gay. So therefore the years went by and he was a virgin for a really long time. He said he told his dad, I remember we saw the dad on his hometowns when he was a contestant. And I can't remember who the Bachelorette was, but he basically told the Bachelorette, do not choose Colton. If you're not ready for this, please don't take him along any further on this journey and crush his heart. And when I saw that, I thought, is the dad super savvy, thinking, my son has this special V card and they're going to want to make him the Bachelor. And why would I have him be like second or third runner up when and maybe have his heart broken when he can get his heart broken now and be the Bachelor and, live in a bigger fame world. But now you kind of wonder that he might have really just knew how vulnerable he was. Maybe not that he was gay, but just that he really was pleading to this girl, don't break my son's heart. So makes me sad for Cassie, makes me sad for her who is probably struggling, going, what is wrong? Why are you distant? Why are you this? Women who have been with men who, love them as a person and maybe they have sex occasionally, but have always felt like there was something missing, or sometimes the guy becomes really kind of mean because they don't know how to express what's going on within them, and the girl really becomes a victim. And obviously she, was a victim. He was harassing her maybe because when she finally wanted to break up with him, he was still trying to hang on to this heterosexuality myth in his brain and was just like, no, you cannot leave me. We have to be together. I don't know. I'm just very happy. He had moments of suicidal thoughts, and I think it's a great story. Anybody would want that person in their life who you love, whether it's your brother, your son, whatever, to be completely honest, live an authentic life. And the dad and the parents and all the friends have been accepting, and they all said, we just wish we knew sooner. So really kind of beautiful. And I'm glad it wasn't psoriasis or some bullshit thing. I'm glad it was this. And I think Robin Roberts was a great person to go to, being that she also had an experience of coming out to her mother. She's gay, and it was is good. So anyway, I was talking to Guy Branum. He's a comedian. He's a friend of mine. He's an out gay man. We were talking about Colton, and he thought of a great match for Colton, and I kind of have to agree. He knows politics a little better than I do, and he said he thinks Aaron Schock might be perfect for Colton. He has come out, unfortunately, at one time. He was very against the LGBT community and voted against it, but he came out in March of 2020, and he's young, and he did get in some trouble. He used some money for some parties or something, but hopefully he's okay, and he's really cute, and hopefully he's coming to terms with his sexuality. I mean, he's out now. And being that they're both kind of conservative and preppy looking. So that's Guy Branum and my pick for Colton. Now, Guy said he's been hanging out in West Hollywood, this guy Aaron. And Colton bought a place in Denver. So I don't know how we're going to get these two together, except I'm putting it on the universe. And as you guys know, I love The Bachelor. I would like to see someone come out while on The Bachelor. That is something I keep wishing for. I think they do vet these guys really well as far as that. But, sometimes the guys just aren't ready to admit it till years later. In this case, Colton, admit it or, be true to themselves. But I just think it would be so amazing if at one point there really was a real romance between two male contestants, and we kind of got to see it happen, like the cameras caught them like making out in a corner or something. Anyway, there you go. Also good news for the family of Kristin Smart. This crime I'm sure you guys are familiar with. In Your Own Backyard was the podcast that kind of reopened the case. It was this guy, he grew up with the posters around him of this beautiful young girl who went missing when she was 19. She was a freshman at Cal State San Luis Obispo. And they always thought it was this guy, Paul Flores, who was the last person who saw her. She went to a party off campus with some friends. She was drinking with other people. The way I remember the story from watching like a 20/20 or something is they were kind of walking her back. She was pretty drunk. And then Paul Flores, who was an acquaintance of these people, showed up and said, well, my place is right next to her dorm. I'll get her, make sure she's okay into her dorm. So it was Memorial Day weekend and they did that. And the next day, the friend and they did other things. And then they realized she was missing. And they questioned him, and he had a black eye. And he at one time said, oh, I was hit in the eye while playing basketball. Another time he said, oh, I hit myself in the eye fixing my pickup truck. They always were suspicious. They have finally arrested the guy, Paul Flores, who's now 44, and his father, who's 80, for covering up the crime. And really, the sheriff's department and the detectives, they just want to know where she is. They want to deliver her body to the family, to give them a proper burial, to let them know what happened that night. And there's so many more details to the story that I don't want to flub up, but there was so much evidence. It was not handled properly back then. The parents continued to put up billboards and posters, and they also thanked the podcast for this arrest. Okay, Bernie Madoff has died. He is the man behind the biggest financial scheme in all of American history. He was sentenced in 2009 for 150 years for what he did. He died at 82 of kidney failure. His wife is still alive. His 2 sons worked for him. And one of the sons, unfortunately, killed himself. And that son's wife has written a book that a lot of you guys have mentioned that is really good. His brother also worked in the scheme, and he got 10 years. But some of the victims that I always thought was interesting, there's so many victims, so many just like rich people and not such rich people throughout New York, but also some stars. And I always remember Keira Sedgwick and Kevin Bacon were lost like $6 million or something to him, or some huge amount. And, you know, they really are the greatest Hollywood couple, because if you can last Hollywood this long, which they have, and a big financial nightmare like that, that is something that often breaks a couple apart, because they're like, who decided to meet Bernie Madoff? Who was in charge of our finances? Who didn't really check the paperwork? You know, and people start to fight about that when there's a financial loss. So it just goes to show you they're still the greatest couple on earth. And 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon includes Bernie Madoff. So, you know, he tried to get out before. They're like hell to the no because he was dying. But he died, and he really screwed over a lot of people. Also, I read a really interesting book about his mistress. He had a mistress for many years in like mid to late 90s. And her story was pretty juicy too. So not a great guy, not a great husband, not a great father. And there's so many movies and stuff about it, but it's crazy. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West have agreed to joint custody of their kids after divorcing over different visions. This is really good because they're going to honor the prenup. They're going to pay for their own attorneys, and there's going to be no child support, no spousal support. And, but according to previous interviews, sources said that Kim really felt that they had a different parenting philosophy. And as he became more religious, she was not appreciating the strictness that he was putting on the kids. He removed all the TVs. As you know, they could never wear color until she separated from him. I remember North never could wear any color. And I think when she was like about 6 or something, she started to put her own outfits together. Well, she also wanted to experiment with makeup. And that was a big supposed fight between them, that he was like, no, North is too young. She's not wearing makeup till she's a teenager, which is so hard because, you know, you're in a house with so much makeup. Your aunts and your mom have huge makeup lines. Kids love makeup. It's it's oftentimes just a real expression, just like anything else, of yourself if your kids want to play with makeup. And I think, I bet North was a big part of her being like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to do this for the next 20 years and fight with him over ridiculous stuff. I just wonder if when they do have custody with Kanye, do they have to go get back in their tan Yeezy uniforms and go over to Wyoming and have no TV and no makeup? Because pretty soon, guess what? Those kids are going to become preteens and they're not going to want to visit. So I hope that he can chill out a little and not jeopardize his relationship with his kids, because I think she wants them to obviously have a great relationship with their dad, but to also not be in this weird, really strict environment. And we see some of it on Keeping Up Now that she's, at her breaking point, and that he called, in one of his Twitter rants, he called Chris a white supremacist, and that is really what set her off. And, so there you go with that. We don't know who she's going to be with next. Another news is Jordyn Woods. That was Kylie's best friend who made out with Tristan one night at a party. She posted a package that she got from Chrissy Teigen and Kris Jenner. And Hollywood Unlocked said, oh my God, are they good with Jordyn Woods now? Well, Kris Jenner and Chrissy Teigen have created a line of like all natural cleaning products. And they're doing one of those things where they're sending it to every influencer they know. And they sent it to Jordyn Woods. Maybe they feel she's got to clean her house. I don't know. But, they did it. They're smart. They knew that she would post it, and they knew that this would be the thing that people pick up. Not that they sent it to J-Lo. It's going to be, oh my God, are they good with her again? Also kind of interesting is Travis Barker, who's dating Kourtney Kardashian, his daughter Alabama, who has a big following too on Instagram and TikTok and stuff. She posted recently something to Jodie Woods. Jordan and Jodie. Jodie is Jordan's younger sister. So they're friendly. So all these people are still all tied together. And, I don't know. I don't know how Khloe would feel about it. She's trying to have another baby with Tristan. I don't know if she's ever going to be like, who cares? I don't know if Kylie and Jordan will ever get together again. But the point is she got some free cleaning products out of it. And a little bit of press that I talked about in Juicy Scoop. The Mirror, which is an English tabloid, so take it for what you will, said that Jennifer Aniston drops baby bombshell news on Friends reunion show. They're finally doing this Friends reunion show. I don't really understand what it is. I hope it's not just some stupid Zoom with a bunch of their faces talking about their favorite episodes. And who is going to be the next one to start a podcast where they just go over every episode? Because the girls from The Office have done it. This other guy from The Office is doing it. 2 guys from Scrubs are doing it. I think the OC girls from the scripted show OC, they're doing it. So who needs work? Who's going to do this? You guys tell me. I think it's going to be Joey. I think it's going to be Joey and Ross is going to go through every episode of the show. And they're going to be the next podcast. And yay, prediction. That's what I say. Anyway, in this supposed whatever weird reunion this is, Jennifer Aniston says, I adopted a baby, or I'm adopting a baby, a little girl from an orphanage in Mexico, I believe. I don't know. Maybe the pandemic, maybe being twice divorced, maybe being like, you know what? I really don't want to miss out on this chapter of raising a child. I think it's really beautiful that she's adopting. And we'll just see if this is true. I mean, there's been a billion times about her having a baby, all this stuff. This is pretty specific. So it makes me think possibly it's true. But I think like this might have been bigger news, but Mirror is just saying it. So I don't know, but we'll see. About the what is a prophet and what is an apostle from the episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I talk about Talk of Shame all the time. I went down Talk of Shame on Instagram a little bit. The prophet guy that was supposedly having an affair with LaToya and Drew from Real Housewives of Atlanta therefore said, because you have enticed like a Delilah from the Bible, the prophet who was going to bless my baby, I no longer can have him bless my baby. Well, turns out he was on a show on the OWN network called Fiance or Family, where he didn't know if he should choose his family over his fiance because the family didn't like him. So he's no stranger to reality TV. Was this, is he in this world? Was he hoping for this story to get out? He has a prayer line. He has some fashion influencer opportunities. But what this Juicy Scooper told our people on Juicy Scoop Obsessed was, she just said, apostles are the ones who built the churches. Prophets is they can see what is going to happen in the future and are to exhort and warn, like me, Prophet Heather. Evangelists spread the word all over about the gospel. Pastors care and counsel members of the church, and teachers have a gift to teach the Bible. So there you go for explaining that. But Prophet, what's his name? Prophet Loft? I don't know what his name is. Anyway, keep watching Real Housewives of Atlanta. This little dog Prancer went viral because it was the most honest adoption posting ever. This little Chihuahua hates men more than women do, is the way it was announced, and said, we do not suggest you adopt this little angry Chihuahua unless... It was such a funny read. It was like, this dog came to me, the foster mom, wearing like a bacon necklace. I don't know. It was just like hilarious. And so the dog absolutely hates men, hates other pets, and hates children. And it was a hilarious thing, speaking of dogs. Well, you guys, I am super excited to share with you this really great interview with Amber. We've met before. You'll hear about her whole life, and it's just a gorgeous delight. So here we go with Amber Rose. Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I am very excited to talk to a woman, a legend, a mother. Amber Rose.
Yay.
Thank you for coming here.
Thank you for having me.
I was just talking to your baby daddy, somewhat of a husband, right there with you. But and he's here today. But I thought you were still in your house closer to me. So I was like, oh, she's going to love that I'm across from Target.
Yeah, I would have been like 1 minute.
You moved on up. You're not in the Valley anymore.
I'm not. I'm in the Bel Air now. So.
La-di-da.
Yeah.
I like it.
Actually get more bang for your buck out here. I think we might move back.
You miss your yard?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Because the boys.
Yeah.
Now, both your boys, your little one, Slash, is only 18 months, right?
Yes.
And then your Sebastian is how old? 8. Oh, okay. So you're in the thick of it.
Yeah, for sure.
As a boy mom, how do you feel? Do you feel like you're a boy mom? Do you get it?
You know what's crazy? I never, like, growing up, I wasn't like one of those girls where I would think about kids.
Yeah.
And like marriage and kids and stuff. But I always felt like if I were to have kids, it would be boys.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In a weird way, I just knew I was going to have boys. I feel like a boy's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a different, I like to just talk about it because I think it's like a different, I think as a woman, you start to absorb the male energy a little bit and it kind of changes you in a good way.
Right.
Like you kind of stop with the bullshit. And then my friends who have all these girls, it's like a cluster and they almost get more wrapped up in like drama because their third grader's like a little shit stirrer, you know?
Right. Yeah, my boy, I mean, my house is just full of basketballs, baseballs, all blue stuff, boy stuff.
Yeah.
Between him and the 2 kids, it's like, it's just all boy stuff everywhere.
I love it. So,
but I got my own glam room, so that's like my own little sanctuary.
Yeah, because you have always been like so gorgeous in makeup and
Thank you.
I love that when you just went for the way your hair is now and it's been, but you do know that there's only like less than 1/1,000,000th of a person that can pull off a perfectly shaped head.
Thank you.
And have like just the perfect head.
Thanks.
What made you realize you had a perfect head shape to just shave your hair?
Well, I wouldn't say always, but it was like a few years. I was probably 16 when I started thinking about it. And I didn't cut my hair until I was 18. And I would put my hair in a low ponytail and kind of look at it in the mirror, like from the side.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I think I can do it. You know, I think like I have a nice shaped head. And I probably did that for like 3 years. And then I cut it and then I cried for like 2 weeks.
You did?
Yeah.
You regretted it? Did you do it like a full, like a shave, like a Marine?
Yes. Well, I went to the barbershop and I was like, just go down the middle because if you start on the sides, I'm going to like, you know.
So you had like your own Britney Spears moment, except you weren't freaking out.
I wasn't. I really wanted it.
And were people in the salon like...
Yeah, they were like, you're out of your fucking mind. Like, don't do it.
Yeah.
And I did it. And then it's so shocking when you first shave your head because you're not used to it.
Right.
And I cried and I was like, I can't believe I did this. Like, I can't believe I did it. And then I felt like I looked like a boy. I don't know. I just went through like the motions. And then I was like, what? Maybe if I dye it blonde, it'll like soften, because I have really
Yeah.
dark hair naturally. And I dyed it blonde, and I was like, this is it. And I'm 37 now. I cut it when I was 18.
I did not know, maybe because I see you with like wigs and stuff, I didn't know that you were rocking it that long.
Long time.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about, like, you have a very interesting life. You wrote a book in 2014. And one thing I think is really cool is that you kind of started this whole anti-slut shaming movement with your walk, like way before. Now when people use the words like sex positivity and don't slut shame, I mean, do you know that you are basically like the pioneer of that? Do you realize that? Because I do. Like, looking back, I was like, oh my God, that's right. She started doing this like 5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm not like the type of person where I feel like I need credit for that, or like a shout out or anything like that. I'm glad that it's moving in a better direction where, you know, you really can't slut shame women anymore. Especially on like social media, like people will stand up and say something
Right.
now, and that's really what I've started fighting for. So I'm happy that, and I always used to say when I first started Slut Walk, I used to say, you know how like the gay community banded together and they were like, you're not going to use the F word anymore against us because, you know, these boys are committing suicide. And then, like, everybody just stopped using the F word. Like, all the rappers, like, no one can say that word anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I try to fight for that when it comes to, like, derogatory labels to women. And it's been working.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been just like a really interesting time because, I mean, obviously you are a feminist, but it is a different movement. I just think the term can be so much broader now. Like, you know, when you think about feminism, like 30, 40 years ago, it was just like, you know, have your own career and da-da-da-da.
Right.
And now it's like, no, there can be a broader thing. And it's not just this one vision of like, just because it's 1985 and you're a mom and you got an office job. Like, that's not what it is. And I think that's like actually really cool. And now your life is very interesting because you started stripping at 15. How?
That was the first time I stripped.
Well, I'd hope so. I was pretty young.
Yeah.
So,
well,
like,
then I didn't like start. I didn't start. I like did it that one time, and then I went back when it was traumatizing. And then I went back when I was 18.
Now, why did you decide like you were down to do it and you thought I'm pretty enough, I can do this? I'm gonna say I assume you had to lie about your age.
Yeah, it wasn't that. It was more so. Me and my mom had trouble, you know, and my stepdad wasn't really doing what he was supposed to do.
Financial trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, my neighborhood was strippers and drug dealers, and that's just what it was. And so, you know, I went to this girl, Nish, and I was like, how do you have all this money? I was so green. I mean, I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you have all this money? Like, how do you, like, your car and, like, your purses and your, you know, all, like, superficial shit.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And she was like, girl, I dance. And it's so funny. The landlord that lived downstairs in the building, she was 80-something years old. And she used to crack jokes saying that she would go to she wanted to go to Delilah's, and she would lift up her shirt and show her bra. She was like 80-something.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm going to go shake and go make money at Delilah's. But I never really knew what she meant. And then the girl said that she danced, and then I put two and two together, and I was like, oh, Mommy Ange always said that she wanted to go dance and make money. And I was like, I wanted to try it. And the first time I did it, I mean, it was like traumatizing for like a 15-year-old. Like, I shouldn't have been in there.
Right.
I just saw too much. It wasn't like the girls taking their tops off. That wasn't a big deal for me because I grew up with my cousin and my mom and my aunt. It was because I was underage, I couldn't really go to like a reputable place.
Yeah.
I went to like a hole in the wall, like shitty, disgusting place. And they were doing some foul shit in there.
Oh.
Shit that I was not even thinking about at that age.
Like doing sex acts.
Full on like wild shit.
Okay.
And I remember that night I made $33. And I went home, and I was like, and that's just from me getting on stage that one time.
Now, did your mom know that you did that?
No.
Okay.
No. That was the one time I got on stage, and I turned around, and I seen all these girls at the bar on their knees getting busy.
Oh, giving blowjobs.
Yeah.
Right there.
It was disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't, at that time, I definitely never, did that before. And so I looked, and I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm fucking out of here.
Right.
And it traumatized me. And then, I would talk to girls, and they're like, no, you got to work, like, when you turn 18, you can work at, like, a really nice club where they're not allowed to touch you. They have to keep their hands to the side, and then I started again.
At when you were 18?
Yeah.
And did you finish high school and everything?
No. I had to work.
What were you doing in between?
So I worked at McDonald's on South Street in Philly, and then I worked at a clothing store, and then I worked at a fish market.
Jeez.
And then and then I was like, yeah, I want to go make some money. I'm 18.
Okay, so then you get to a nice place.
Yeah.
And then what happens? Like, how long were you
It was
there
the
for?
best time of my life. Like, I wish I
Really?
can go I wish I could work there right now.
And was that also in Philly, or you went to a different city?
That was in Philly, and then I went to New York, and I worked at Sue's Rendezvous in New York. And that was honestly probably, that was like the best time of my life, too.
So could you relate to the movie Hustlers, or whatever that one was, the J-Lo movie?
I didn't watch it.
Why didn't you watch it? You weren't curious?
Do
you know that girl? Do you know the person it was based on?
No,
Oh, okay.
I don't know. But I don't know. It's kind of like I saw the preview and I was just like, this isn't what stripping is like.
I didn't think it was that great, I'll be honest, as the movie. It was one of those movies that like kind of starts out fun because it's like you're kind of entertained, and then the second half you're like, all right, I call BS on this. Like, where is this going? And this girl, like, but it still was, I mean, she's fun to look at, J-Lo. So it's like, and I liked
J-Lo.
the outfits and all that.
Yeah, it just
But,
didn't.
yeah.
When I saw the preview, I was like, this doesn't look realistic to me. I was kind of turned off, and I just never watched it. I don't know.
So how long did you? Okay, you're commenting too much.
Sorry.
Okay.
You can't hear it on mine, so just keep
Yes,
going.
you can. People say they hear you chuckling too much.
All right.
That's cool.
That's fine.
It's cool. I watched it. I watched a podcast like that. It was actually really cool.
Me like a tiny bit, like keep with it, but just a little bit too, like a little too into the peanut gallery. Like okay.
He'll do the same. Trust me.
It's all fun.
So how long are you there for, and then when do you start getting like being asked to do real modeling jobs and being in the videos and all that stuff? Like how long of a?
So that's when I went to New York.
Uh-huh.
And this woman came in with her husband, and I would just give them dances, and we were just cool, like have drinks and stuff like that, just talk. And she was like, you should do music videos. And when I danced, I wore wigs because I didn't want people to recognize me from my neighborhood versus the club.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And she's like, you should do videos.
Was it hard to like whip your head around with a wig on?
No.
Okay.
I always kind of wore different wigs and stuff.
Okay.
She was like, do you want to do music videos? She was like, there's a music video tomorrow in Atlanta. And I was like, well, I can't just get up and leave. Like, I have bills. Like, I can't just do that. And she's like, no, all expenses paid. And then you get a check on top of it, like $1,000. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, all right, cool. So I went and I did that. It was in Atlanta. The second one was in Miami. And the third one was in LA. And that was the first time I was in LA. But the third video was Ludacris and Chris Brown. I Know What Them Girls Like. And the first two videos I had the wig on. So I called Margot and I was like, hey, do you think like this video I can kind of rock like my buzz cut? I know you haven't seen me with this haircut, but people seem to think I look cool. And she was like, buzz cut? I don't know. That's not really like video girl image.
Right. The Video Vixen whole thing.
Yeah. And I was like, well, let me just send a picture to you, see if, that director likes it or whatever. Sent the picture. He was like, fly her to LA. She's beautiful. We want to have her in the video. So I was like, cool. And then after that video is when all these, like, everyone on the internet just start talking about the bald girl in the Ludacris video. Because I was, like, Googling myself,
Yeah.
you know? Because I was just excited.
And were you going by Amber Rose at that time?
No one knew who I was.
Okay.
Yeah, no one had no idea who I was. It was just literally the bald girl in the Ludacris and Chris Brown video. Like, that's what I was Googling. And, like, all these, like, websites were coming up. Who's this girl? What's her name? Where's she from? No one had answers. And that was it. And I did a couple videos, and then I eventually moved to LA.
And then when you moved to LA, is that when you met Kanye?
No. So I was living in New York, and I think that he got my phone number from the director of that music video, and he wanted me to be in his music video. So he called me when I was in the Bronx. I was in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And he was just like, "Hey, this is Kanye. I want you in my video." And I was like, "How the hell did you get my number? I don't even know who you are." And then I wound up flying out there and doing the video, and then
Then you fell in love.
yeah, and then we dated for like 2 years.
You dated a while. And so now I know there's been times where, you know, you've been asked questions, whatever, but like, how do you feel about everything now? Like, did you wonder if he had any issues now that you see that he's had some, like, definitely some episodes? Like, did you ever suspect that when you were with him that maybe he was a little bipolar or had some, like, mental issues?
No,
like
I
breakdown?
think we were just. I mean, I wouldn't know. I would say life can take a toll on you sometimes. But we had fun. We would go out dancing, have fun, have drinks, travel, go to fashion shows. You know, we had a good time. I mean, obviously it didn't work out, but I don't I've never seen stuff like that. No.
Right. I mean, like with the running for president and all that stuff. I mean, that was kind of, I mean, you're like, and it's hard because you're like, is this a publicity stunt? Is this something someone really thinks is possible that could happen? And you're like, I guess it could happen if Trump became president.
Well,
I guess
yeah.
it could happen. So you're like, well, I mean, go for it. Like,
Right.
who's to say, you know,
True.
that it couldn't happen? But, you know, and then, so it was kind of like fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've met him a couple times, and he's, you know, could not have been like a more smiley, cheerful person. But again, I'm at like a party for a minute and a half, so it's like I
Right.
love it when someone like me is like nicest guy in the world.
Right,
You're like,
right.
all right, step back, chick. Like,
Yeah.
what do you know? You know?
Well, it's not easy being famous, and then
Yeah.
it's not easy being that level of famous.
Right.
And then, you know, criticism and trying to work and raise kids, and I'm sure, you know, it takes a toll on everybody sometimes.
Yeah. So, okay. So then you meet Wiz, and you're married to Wiz, and you guys have a good relationship now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my husband and Wiz, they both coach Sebastian's baseball team.
Oh my God, that's
Together.
so great.
Yeah, and then Wiz brings his girlfriend Amy, and we're all cool.
Yeah.
We do it for Bash. I mean, you know, he loves it. He loves that we can all go to his baseball games and his practices and just be a big family that loves him.
That is so great. All that stuff does take time. People, you know, it does.
Yeah.
It's like, but once you can get it down, it's. And they did a really cute commercial together. They did some Oreo
yeah.
commercial, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's cute.
great. Does your son like to act and stuff?
He does. He's always been a little ham since
Yeah.
he was born. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got, oh my God, they're both of their faces are just like perfect. Okay, so you got their names tattooed on your forehead.
Yes.
That was quite controversial. People were
Yeah.
kind of freaking out, myself included. I was a
Yeah.
little bit like, I mean, I don't know, but I'm not a tattoo person, so
Yeah, I mean,
like
I have
I don't
two
get
full
the culture.
sleeves.
Yeah. So what made you decide to do that?
I just like tattoos. I kind of always wanted to get a face tat.
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to get anything down here.
Right.
And then, you know, if I feel like throwing a bang over it one day, I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you only live once, you know?
And you, like, obviously, Sebastian can see it and read it. How did he feel about it?
He thought it looked cool. He was like, Mom, you look like a robot. Like, you look so cool.
Oh, really? That's
he
good.
loved it. Well, you know, Alex has both of their birthdays on his head.
Right. I saw the numbers and I figured it was something specific.
Yeah, it's Slash and Bash's birthday, and then I have their names.
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
Well, that's what made me love Alex, because he treated Bash like that was his own child. Even though Bash obviously has a dad, but he loved my son. He came in and loved me and my son, so that was really important.
Yeah. How did you guys meet?
We met at the BET Awards. We sat next to each other by accident.
Do you think it was really by accident?
Okay, so I'll tell you the story.
Okay.
So I call this guy that I know, and I'm like, yo, I really want to get good seats at the BET Awards for me and Chyna, my friend Chyna. And he's like, oh, I got you. I know the guy that does all the seating. So I'm like, cool. So we get there. We're all the way in the back.
But now you are like famous at this time, right?
Yeah.
And you're walking the red carpets and everything. How did you not normally just have a better seat because they want the famous people
I didn't know
up front?
what seat I was going to get. I just made the call to be like, I want like camera seats. I'm going to like get all glammed up. I want like good seats. He's like, I got you. So we wound up being all the way in the back. It was like terrible, right? So I call him, Shot Kim, and I'm like, why the fuck are we all the way in the back? And he's like, wait, what? Hold on. So he calls the guy. So the guy sitting next to me, his phone rings. And I'm like, wait, is this the guy that seats everybody? So Shot Kim calls me back, and I'm right next to the guy, and he's like, the guy obviously has a crush on you, and when I told him that you wanted good seats, he put you next to him.
And is that him?
And I was, no.
Oh.
And I'm like,
that's someone else?
Someone else, some other guy. And I'm like, well, I don't want to sit next to him. I asked for good seats, but I guess that guy looked at that as an opportunity to have me sit next to him.
Got it.
So I was like, please tell him that I want to move down some. So anyway, he moves me down. So the guy is like, hey guys, to me and Chyna. He's like, so I have these seats, but they're next to Tyga. You know, Chyna has a baby with Tyga, and all that shit it was just a mess.
So now, were they in okay relations then, or was this still pretty soon after the
breakup? Not really. It wasn't great. It wasn't great.
But she hadn't had her baby with Rob yet.
Did she? No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. So I'm like, so Chyna's like, fine, let's just go. So we get to the aisle, and Tyga's sitting right here, and Alex, my husband, is right next to him. So when I look down the aisle, I'm like, Chyna, let me go down first. So I'll sit next to Tyga, and you sit next to me.
Okay.
So it's Chyna, me, Tyga, Alex. And so I just like glance over at Alex, and I'm like, oh my God, he's so cute, Chyna. Like, who is that? And it's like Tyga's friend. And then we wind up like flirting the whole night, and we're just like obsessed with each other. And that's like, we fell in love that night. Just like,
really?
Tyga's sitting in between us, and Tyga's like, do you want me to move? Like, so you guys can sit next to each other?
Did he move?
No. And then I was like, no, don't do that. Like, I like it like this. Like, let me just get to know him first, because I don't want people to think that like we're together and then he's some weirdo that, you know.
Yeah.
I'll talk to him tomorrow and he could be crazy. I don't know.
Right.
So just stay right there. But he turned out to be great.
So did you go out afterwards that night? Did you party all night and hang out all night?
No, actually we didn't. I didn't see him until the VMAs. And
How much time is between BET and VMAs?
like a month.
She's leaving things out, he said.
I am leaving things out,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe you did see each other in between.
No, I was kind of talking to somebody
Oh.
at the time.
And so you had to close that up.
I just felt like it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not like a cheater or anything, so I just wanted to like make sure that situation was done.
Okay.
And then I seen him at the VMAs, and then we hung out all night, like at the hotel. We just had a great time. We got to know each other. And then after that, I had a pool party in LA.
Okay.
And he had to go to New York because he's a music executive, excuse me. And so I called him in New York, and I was like, hey, I'm having a pool party tomorrow in LA. Do you want to come? And he got on the first thing smoking, came to my pool party, and then that was it. we've been together ever since.
And everybody liked him,
Yes.
including the mother.
Yes.
And
My mom. Oh my God, please. I was like, Mom, relax. She was like obsessed with him.
Really?
Yeah.
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 It's interesting when the mom almost likes your partner more than you.
Yeah. She was like obsessed. She was. But
So,
worked out.
okay, so how is Blac Chyna? You guys still tight? Friendly?
I'll just say that I love Chyna. I will always love Chyna. She's like family. It's like once, she's like a sister. But I don't know. I think we just grew apart.
Okay.
But I still love her, and I wish her the best.
She lives right up here, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like right next door.
Yeah, I always drive by her house.
Yeah.
I'm always like, she's a nice house.
Yeah, she does.
Okay, cool. So tell me, okay, so then, you had that talk show, which that's one of the things we were talking about because
Right.
so you had your podcast and then they kind of Love Line sort of made it Love Line with Amber Rose, right?
Right.
And then you were going to do that talk show. And I was like kind of interested in doing it, but there's no way I could have done it with this as well. Because you were like, I want you to work on the show, which would have been, I was like, this could be really fun, but there was just not enough time in the day. Mm-hmm. And what happened when that ended? What happened with that? Did you realize it was too overwhelming or what?
No, I had a great time. I mean, what happened is that I signed with Dr. Phil.
Okay.
And it was great with him. Mm-hmm. And his son. Like, I had the best time. I had his whole production team, by the way.
Yeah.
And I just loved everyone over there. And then that was at VH1. Mm-hmm. So, but they put me, so we had to go back and forth with VH1 because they put me on Friday night at 11 o'clock. And Dr. Phil was like, that her whole fan base is at the club. Like, they're having fun at Friday night at 11 o'clock. Like, why would you put her on at that time?
Right.
But even then, the ratings were still really good.
Uh-huh.
And then MTV was like, well, we want to take her. So they bought me out from Dr. Phil.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so you had a whole nother show.
Well, they brought me to MTV,
okay,
and then they did the whole new set,
That's
whole
right.
new everything.
Okay.
They took me away from Dr. Phil, and I was so upset because that was my guy that like stood up for me,
Right.
and made sure I had everything that I needed. And now I was just kind of by myself at MTV, and I feel like I feel like they kind of just used me as a guinea pig. Like every day it was something different. Like try this, try that, or they would come in and be like, the couch, I can't. I don't like this couch. And then we would have to wait hours for them to switch the couch out. And, like, it was just the dumbest shit. It was like...
stuff that doesn't matter.
It was like, when 10 people have the same job?
Yes.
And they all have to say that something's wrong so it looks like they're working? Like, that's how it was. It was terrible.
I always use that example of, like, and no offense to people that work in props, but that, like, when you've been filming something and if it's like, a level of union project and you go like this.
Exactly.
And then they're like, stop filming. Amber just moved the cup.
Yes.
We need Joe Schmo to come in here and move the cup. And you're like.
No, the average person does not know how irritating that is.
Yeah. And you're just like, can we just like roll with it?
It's like no one's seen that. No one cares.
Yeah. Now I'm like not in my same vibe. And, and a talk show is so important that you like share about, just be in the comfortableness of it. So.
Right.
Okay. So you're like, it just didn't work out.
No, it was terrible. It
Yeah.
was terrible over there at MTV. And then they were just like, yeah, it's just, and they did like a huge like Ellen type set.
Yeah.
Like it was just, it just
and you
wasn't
wanted it more
me.
like intimate?
I love my VH1 show. It was my baby. It was intimate and I had a good conversation with people. It was just fun. It was smaller. It was, I don't know. They just fucked it up.
And so now, like, how do you feel about, like, would you ever want to do that again? Or are you good just kind of doing all these things on your own?
Yeah, I'd rather just do a podcast now. I'd rather just be intimate.
And you're going to bring back your podcast?
I'm not going to do Love Line, no.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to do Love Line again.
but you're going to do your own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely should.
Yeah.
And especially just, it's that freedom of doing your own thing. You know,
Right.
I've been on the big productions and all that stuff. And there's a time for it. And it was fun and it was great. And I'm not saying I wouldn't want to do it again, but it would definitely be like, I'd have to, if I was to have my own thing, like definitely I just would put my foot down. I wouldn't be so accommodating. And you
Right.
look back and you sometimes are because you don't want to be that diva and you don't. But then
you're compromising your personality and your
which
life.
affects
and
the whole thing.
Exactly.
And it's not who you really are.
And
then
it affects future brands working with you. It affects like they would have me saying like the dumbest jokes and like
the corniest shit.
just the dumbest shit sometimes. And I would be like, please, I really don't want to say this. This isn't who I am.
Right.
Like I've always had a problem like from the beginning of my career. They would be like, for example, if somebody wanted to do Cribs, like
Okay.
MTV Cribs or whatever, for example, they would be like, okay, so we want you at the pool, big hat, in a bikini, mimosa, grapes over here. And I'm like, I'm the kind of girl, I'm behind the barbecue. My kids are running around. Like, we're listening to loud, like, rap music. That's not who I am.
You're not walking around a pair of heels around
I'm
the
not.
pool.
No, I'm
Yeah.
definitely in Jordans. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just not that girl. And I always have to reiterate, like, this is who I am.
Right.
Or they'll be like, can we do, like, a moment with you in a gazebo and then, like, this nice planned out, like, brunch? I'm like, bro, this is not who I am.
Yeah.
And it gets so frustrating because they push for that so much and they think they know me, but they don't. And then I have to go against the grain and then they get frustrated with me because they want me to be somebody that I'm not,
Yeah.
But I have to consistently be who I am. And that's what works for me.
I mean, it's obviously working. You have 20 million Instagram followers and you're one of the top people on OnlyFans. How long ago did you join OnlyFans?
Couple months, maybe 4 or 5 months ago.
Oh, you just joined?
Mm-hmm.
And so did you have any question about joining it?
No, I would have joined earlier if I didn't have a baby.
Oh, okay. I think OnlyFans is great. I'm kind of obsessed.
You
with
should get it OnlyFans.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I actually just had them write me because they were trying to, have more people that are not just sexy, and I'm like, honestly, I have Patreon, which is just an extension of the podcast, like the juicier stuff, and I'm kind of like, I just don't want to like take on another thing because it's a lot of work to come up with any kind of content, whether it's sexy pictures or a sketch. It's a lot of extra, so I just don't know if I personally have the time. And I
But
don't
you
want
can do whatever you want. You don't have to have a schedule. You can do one post a month.
Yeah, but that's not fair to your people then. Like, I care about, like, I feel like if someone's going to pay, like, I better give them something good.
Yeah, but you can do, like, so you have, on OnlyFans, you have, like, a timeline, and then you have your DMs.
Okay.
Which is different.
Oh, okay.
So your timeline is, like, Instagram, kind of.
Okay.
And then your DMs is, like...
The personal stuff with each fan, or...
Well, yes, but you can send like a mass DM. So let's say you have 100,000 people that subscribed. You can send one video to 100,000 people at one time. But then you lock it and you charge them $20 to open it.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said I would have been on much sooner.
You're like, get this baby out.
Yeah, I was ready.
Yeah, because it's fascinating, and it's like, but I also feel it's so empowering, and it's so good and safe. It's such a safer thing to do, and like if you are a mom, like there was the mom at the Catholic school. Did you hear about her? Mm-hmm. And of course these bitches are running around. I'm like, how do you even know about it?
Right,
like of course you know about
haters.
it because somebody. I mean, I feel like even at my level, which I'm just a comedian, but I felt like there was sometimes judgy stuff about what I did because, it was kind of edgy, and my kids went to Catholic school, and I loved being part of that, but then I also felt like I wasn't, I don't know, you feel like a little fish out of water, but now it's just like, oh, who cares, you stupid bitch. Like, yeah. Like,
and when I saw that article,
yeah,
I was just like, I wish somebody at my son's school would say something to me. Like, there's no way. You're not going to tell me how to make money during a pandemic. There's no way.
Right.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
No, and now that it's like you did start it in the pandemic, and now you can do everything from your house and be there for the baseball games and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think it's going to be hard to want to take any other kind of like other projects on that might be so much more time consuming because it is a bigger production or because a network is paying you?
No, but I can always throw up a little content on OnlyFans while I'm doing that.
No, but I'm saying like some big network thing will be so much more time consuming, and the money and everything may not even be close to what you're doing on OnlyFans. Like, I wonder, like, are people going to start to, like, you know, as someone like me, it's always like TV was always like, oh, you know, to be on TV. Oh, thank God I got a guest spot. Oh, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then you get to a place where you're like, okay, it's how much and how many days am I committed for?
Right.
And you're just kind of like, I just think when I think of somebody like you that has such a big following on a platform like that, it's going to be hard for you to be like,
it is.
I mean, I want to be
just
gone for 2 weeks doing something.
It's just like being a stripper and trying to go get a regular job after that.
Yeah.
Or being a drug dealer and trying to get a regular job after that. The money's so fast and so easy. It's hard. You're absolutely right. It's like, we want to pay you 30, 40, 50 grand for like a month's project. You're like, I can make that in a day.
Yeah.
I can make that in an hour. Why would I do that? You know?
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
Unless you're really passionate about something.
Unless it's like a like an acting role or something, or that you're, yes, it's like your dream, or you're like, oh my God, there's even like an Oscar buzz or something.
Right.
I mean, then I'd be like, yeah, that's kind of cool. But when it's just like one of those gigs, you're like, well, wait
then
a
you got to
minute.
be away from your kids. Like, fuck that.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think you want to have more kids?
No.
You're good.
I had hyperemesis with both of my sons.
Oh.
7 years apart. Like 24-hour vomiting all day, 9 months straight.
You were, because you looked so good pregnant.
Oh, girl. Yeah, no. Ask him. The night of having my baby, I was throwing up. His mom was like holding my head. I was on the toilet, 9 months pregnant, throwing up.
Oh.
It was terrible.
So you did not have fun pregnancies?
Like, if a doctor said, Amber, I have this medication or I have this cure that if you get pregnant again, you will not throw up for 9 months, I would do it.
Yeah.
But I can't go through it. It was torture.
I can't even imagine. I had it so easy.
Oh, my God. I don't know. It was literally, I was on bed rest the last trimester. It was just, it took a whole, I'm not that girl. I like to get up and go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when Chyna had Dream.
Yeah.
She was up all night, all this energy. She could eat whatever she wanted. She was like dancing and having fun. And I was just like, and that's before I got pregnant with Slash. And I'm just like, you're so lucky.
Yeah.
I feel like if I have another baby, I'm going to be in the bed. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that it sucks, because I have to say I had it really easy.
I couldn't eat anything.
I didn't even throw up once the entire time.
You're so lucky.
And I'm like, I usually throw up like once or twice a year just because I like drink too much or like was a pig.
No, me and Amy Schumer were on the phone all day. Like, because she
had it too,
she
right?
had it too.
Ugh.
Yep.
My God, that is just.
And I think she had her baby and I was still pregnant. So she was like, girl, you're going to get through it. I had my baby. Like, here's some remedies. She told me about the seasickness wristbands.
That helped?
It helped. It did help.
Oh, that's good to
I mean,
know.
it didn't cure it, but it helped. It subsided the nausea.
So if you're throwing up all the time, is it hard to eat? Like, or do you
I
not
couldn't
have...
eat. I could not eat.
So when you are, so then when the baby comes out, did you not really gain that much weight?
No, I was 224 pounds when I had Slash.
What are you normally?
$160.
Okay.
So I was 224 pounds. And I think towards the end, so I couldn't eat any meat. Like, meat smelled gamey. It smelled like blood to me. Like, it smelled like dead animal.
Yeah.
You know? So I couldn't eat that, but eventually I would eat, like, French fries. So that's why I started gaining all that weight from the pregnancy.
Oh, okay.
So it was just salty. Anything plain, crackers, salty French fries, stuff like that. Anything with a lot of seasoning, or I couldn't eat it.
Yeah. So, now tell me about Dancing with the Stars. Did you enjoy doing that?
No.
No.
Nope.
And when they came to you, were you excited?
Yes.
Did you know what you were getting into?
No.
And what didn't you enjoy about it?
It was fucking terrible. Like, I when I got kicked off or whatever, voted off.
You made it to 9th. That's not terrible,
Was
right?
it 9th? I thought it was
I looked
6th.
it up.
Was it 9th? I don't
Let's just say it was 6 to make you feel better. I don't know.
I think
looked
it
it up.
was
It said 9th.
But I was so happy when I got voted off. I was like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. I cannot wait to go home. I'm so done with this shit. But I love my partner, Max. And what's crazy is that, so I think that they put me and Max together because they thought we were going to fight all the time because he's like, Russian, like just, I don't know how I don't know.
But they
how to
also have
explain
to
him.
put you with someone tall because you're 5'9".
Yeah.
And there's not that many tall of the guys.
That's
back
true.
then,
That's
when it
true.
was those regulars. But okay, so they thought that you might like butt heads.
Yeah, I think they looked at me as like, I'm a feminist and I'm not going to deal with some guy fucking telling me what to do with an attitude, and he's very stern, but we became best friends.
Okay.
Yeah, we became best friends.
So
But
then why did you want it to end? Just because physically it was so exhausting or what?
it's, how can I explain Dancing with the Stars? It is like me putting a football in your hand and telling you to play professionally by next Monday.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it's like. So you're using muscles in your body that you never used before. But on Monday night when it's live, you have to look like you've been doing this your whole life. Like, it is terrible. Like, just the anxiety.
Do you think that was you allowing to put that much pressure on yourself, and him putting the pressure, thinking because you are sexy, because you are like, maybe they thought you had more of a dancing experience than you did, that he probably thought, wait, I think we could actually win this. So I'm going to push. Well, they always want to win. So obviously your partner's pushing you.
Max was great. Like, I can deal with being pushed. That wasn't, so it was before my breast reduction.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, faster, 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 move, move. And I'm like, I can't, my boobs are heavy and I can't move that fast. Like, I can't. Like, he wanted me to like fly across the floor. And I just felt like my boobs, my back was hurting. I was just like, bro, I fucking can't do this. I'm like, can we just do it? Can you just give me another dance where like it's more like catered to my body?
Yeah.
He was like, no.
And I mean, I've talked to people who do want to be kicked off. I mean, or I think they fake
wanted to get kicked
or
off.
they fake an injury or something, because it is just like, and I just think for some people, again, it's not the end all be all in their career or their life. So they're like, oh my God, let this. Now, I've had some theories if I were to be asked on Dancing with the Stars. Mm-hmm. Why don't people get like shoes specifically made for your feet? Because it seems like people, have those weird character shoes, and they always have like, ridiculous blisters and this and that. And I'm like, I wonder if I could just get some like shoes made. Do you think that would have helped?
Probably.
Yeah.
They were the worst shoes ever.
Yeah, see?
Like literally, so around the edges, they're very tough.
Uh-huh.
So you would think for dancing shoes, they would have some type of coating around like the edges.
That's
and
what
stuff.
I'm saying.
They
like,
don't. It's terrible.
So it's marking, like you're getting like blisters and stuff.
Blisters all over. And listen, I take pride in my feet. I don't play that shit. Like,
Yeah.
I had blisters all over.
Do you do some feet shots for OnlyFans too?
Oh yeah, all day. I make so much money.
I'm like very big on Wiki Feet. I'm kind of a hit.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Someone looked it up, and like people like when you do the red carpet, like there's a lot of people that just zoomed in on my feet and posted that on my feed. And it's weird because my mom used to tell me as kids that we all had bad feet because she didn't like her feet. I'm like, apparently my feet are kind of killing it.
Like in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. Like they like my little bony feet.
Well, that's your OnlyFans page. There you go. Foot fetish.
My son was
Your
all excited.
husband won't
He
mind.
thought
He
of it, and he
won't-
goes,
he won't
only
care.
feet. Mom, just do only feet. But I
Only
looked
feet.
it up, and the name's already been taken. Only feet.
Just put your name up there and
Well,
post
so
your feet.
I can't risk these.
You can even do it as a joke and then just make money from it. Who cares?
Yeah, because nobody's. But if I get on Dancing with Stars, I can't risk these little pigs getting crushed and looking horrible.
It's terrible. And then the bottom part is so slippery that you have to like go to the shoe repair and get like the little ridges on the bottom so you don't slip. I'm like, who makes fucking dancing shoes like this?
That's what I'm saying. Why has no one thought to bring in like a private cobbler to like customize your shoes? The other thing I thought is, if I ever got on Dancing with the Stars, and I'm just giving my secrets away, is I would tell my partner, okay, do the dance with someone who knows how to do it. I'm going to film it, and I'm just going to watch it over and over and over again, because I think I can like do it. That doesn't help?
No.
Did you ever try that?
There's so much footwork. Like,
no, I'm not saying that's not all I could do, but I just thought that could help in my head learn the next steps.
Well, they try to do that, but they'll try to do that with you.
Okay.
So they'll get someone to come in and film you and your partner.
Okay.
Do the dance, and then you go home and you'll watch it and see like how you can fix it. It didn't help me at all. I was just like, I don't even remember what I did earlier that day. It was like watching a stranger. I couldn't even believe I was doing that.
So were you almost like, I hope people at home don't vote for me?
Yes. I could not wait to leave. I was done. But like I said, Max was so cool, and like, I don't know, it was a good time. And then I had the samba.
Yeah.
The last one, and it was by far the toughest one. And I was just like, bro, please, I hope I go home after this. I like cried. I cried on the last episode. I was like, I cannot do this. I cried.
Before you got the boot, you cried. Then you cried tears of joy.
Well, I cried because it was like before I had to dance.
Yeah.
And it was like live TV, and I'm like, I don't have this dance down, and it's live, and I'm not ready. Like, and I hate my shoes, and they're killing me, and I just hate this whole situation. And I still had to go and do it.
So if they ever asked you to come back for
Nope.
like All Stars.
Nope. I already thought about it. I'm like, don't ask me for shit. I'm not going back.
Is there any other kind of show like Masked Singer or something that you'd ever want to do? Would you ever want to be like a giant piglet or an eagle or something?
I would do Masked Singer, I guess. That seems like fun.
Now, because you have had some albums and some songs, right? Can you sing?
Maybe I can hold a little note.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't say I could sing.
Well, what about your songs? They were just for fun. They were just like dance.
Yeah, that was like years ago.
Yeah.
Cut that part out.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, Masked Singer. There's a masked dancer too. You don't want to do that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't even know it's out. I don't even watch it. But I guess they put you in another weird outfit and you have to just dance around.
Oh, I guess I could do that as long as it's not like choreographed.
Yeah, wait, you and Blac Chyna were supposed to have a show together, weren't you, for like a reality show or something?
No,
or was that
was
just talk?
Yeah, that was just a rumor.
Okay, that was just rumors. Would you ever want to be a guest judge on something like America's Got Talent or something like that?
I won't mind.
I think you'd be kind of good at that.
Yeah, I won't mind that.
Maybe there'll be a show about like influencers or something.
Maybe.
How to create like exciting content. I always come up with show ideas and then I just leave it out there in the universe for someone to steal.
Right.
So tell me now, you got involved with Fashion Nova. Are you the queen of Fashion Nova? How did that come about?
No, my deal with Fashion Nova is over.
It is? Oh.
Yeah, I had it for like 2 years, and then I had my own line with them.
Okay.
Which was cool. But yeah, that's done and over with.
Are you done with fashion, or you want to do your own fashion line separate?
I just signed a deal with Ethica.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to come out with a whole women's apparel line with Ethica.
What kind of style will it be?
Just pretty tights. I think I'm going to do like cool. I like capris, kind of like under the knee. Colorful, active wear.
Oh, like
sports
workout.
bras.
Oh, like workout wear.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I love it. And what else are you working on?
I'm working on a few things. I can't say right now, but I can come back and we can talk about
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll definitely come through for sure.
And so anything else you want to share? You're just killing it. You're just mom in love. You got your OnlyFans. Greatest thing that's ever happened.
He helps me with like my content, my husband.
Well, that's nice.
He does. He's like, this is what guys want. Trust me.
So with the photos and stuff.
Yeah. He's like, this is what guys want.
And now how sexy do you get on this thing?
So I'll like show my boobs.
Okay.
That's as far as I go.
Oh, really? Not.
So I don't do like porn. I don't bring anyone into my pictures. My husband's not in. It's just me owning my body.
Being sexy.
I don't masturbate or do anything like that. Just sexy.
Yeah.
Anything I would probably do at a strip club.
Okay.
So it's just like boobs.
Except you don't need to go to get in your car and park.
Nope.
And go talk to the girls in the back.
Nope.
And be with the gross people and then.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. But that's as far as I go. I might do like a little twerk, a little boob, a little bra.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Because there was a juicy story I did last week about this girl who was dating a billionaire, and he was such a dick, and he wanted her to remove all the OnlyFans photos that she took at his mansions. Take it down because she didn't want to be with him anymore. So he's suing her.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's suing her, and she's just like, here is your handbag back. Like, leave me the hell alone. I don't
Right.
care. Like, I was making money before I met you. And he just couldn't believe that this girl who's 26 didn't want to marry his ass. So he's just
Yeah,
like,
he's
I'll
probably
make your
gross.
life hell.
Right.
Yeah, just being awful. And so, yeah, so it's good that I hope that doesn't happen with him.
Who, Alex?
I'm just kidding.
No, you know what's funny? I tell Alex all the
Take
time.
down
like,
the photos that I thought of. That was my
no,
idea.
No, years ago, I've been on dates with billionaires years ago, and
Who hasn't?
they're
Me.
gross. They're gross. Who hasn't me? No, like a lot of them are just like they're just.
What's your advice to girls that are just out there, you know, wanting to be a yacht girl, wanting to hook a billionaire? What would be your advice to someone that's dealing with a billionaire, but without getting hurt like this girl did? Any advice to protect yourself?
Honestly, I would say stand your ground, be who you are, but don't, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't be one of many on the yacht. You know what I mean?
I was just on a yacht yesterday, and
I saw that.
I was one of many, but it was
You
totally,
were not one of many. I saw your videos.
But it was normal people. Like everyone was normal. Like
Yeah.
even the really cute girls were like pretty normal. Like there was a girl who was an attorney. Like no one was just like I'm coming to, you know, try to land someone.
No,
it was
but
just a normal crew. But
I'm saying, for example, if the guys are like, oh, I want all the girls to twerk right now, you can be like, listen, that's not really my thing, but they can have a good time. Just be who you are.
Yeah.
Don't feel like obligated to do things because this person has money.
But
Like,
then
have
don't
your
you think that?
integrity. But if you want to twerk, you should.
But don't you also think that when you don't do that or you don't bone the people in Dubai, you probably won't be asked back?
No, that hasn't been my experience.
Oh, so what do you? So you just are above it like the queen.
Not the queen, but not that I'm being a bitch either. It's just
I don't think you're a bitch. I think that's the way I'd like to go. I'd just like to have the meals and be on the boat and then go
it's like
into
I don't
my own
really,
cabin and go to
I don't
sleep.
really want to do that, but like I'll throw some ones on them. Like we can still have fun. Like they can twerk and I'll throw some money and shit. But I don't want to. That's not something I
you'll
want
be
to
part
do.
of the fun, but you don't want to be doing the dancing and all that. Yeah.
I mean, for example,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Just be who you are.
What's the best like gift paid trip you got from somebody that just wanted to be in your presence, but you weren't that into?
My husband knows about this one too. I got flued out
Yeah.
by some guy,
Yeah.
and just for like 2 days, and just shopping sprees, watches,
Now, are
diamonds.
you walking the streets of the fancy shops with this guy? Or does
Yeah,
he just
actually,
say go
I'm
shop
lying.
by
I was
yourself?
already there,
Okay.
and I met this person,
Uh-huh.
and he asked me out to dinner, and I said I was single. This was years ago.
Okay.
I was single at the time, and I said sure, and then took me to Rolex, got me 2 Rolexes.
Now, how do you justify 2? Like, this is where I would...
Well, one was white gold and one was rose gold.
Oh, my God.
So
But how do you... Like, here's the thing. Like, I once was dating a guy, and we went by a store, and he was like, do you need shampoo or anything? And I was like, no. And I was like, you know what? I could never do this because I literally am just like, no, I'm good. Like, so you're at the Rolex, and you're like, let me see that one. And he puts it on. The guy puts it on, and you're like, this is so beautiful. Now, this is what I'm assuming you do it, how you get 2 watches. Now, the old Heather would go, this is so beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay, good. Let's go. Oh, my God, I can't believe we got a Rolex. Now, the new Heather, taking the Amber tips, I would say, this is so beautiful, but God, I just can't decide because I have so much white gold and then I have so much rose gold and I would want to wear the watch every time I wear this jewelry. I want to think of you. So I don't know which one to choose.
Well,
then they say 2, right?
No, so he picked out the rose gold one.
Okay.
And then I was like, I love this one so much, but I don't have any other jewelry to match this rose gold one.
Oh.
And then he was like, okay, so let's get you a white gold one too, so you can switch them out. Yeah.
Okay, so then you put one on each wrist and you start walking down the street. And then where do you go?
We went to a jewelry store. I got diamond earrings and then selvages. So this was in Europe.
Okay. What's that? Some other store?
Selvages. It's just like a high-end store.
Okay.
In London. And just like anything I could possibly want. Just like go crazy.
I mean, is your heart like beating? Like, I that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you know how not to cross the line? There's no line to cross. Just keep going. Just keep picking
No, if
stuff
somebody
up.
tells me get whatever I want, I'm gonna get whatever I want.
Oh my God. Okay, so now there's people helping put it together and everything. You have
Yes,
to buy
there's
extra.
a bunch of people that are just bringing me everything in the store. Like,
Okay,
to the...
so then what do you have to do that night? You got to go to dinner with him? What do you have to do?
Yeah, so we went to dinner, and then I went to my flight. Never slept together, never did anything.
Oh my God.
Kept in touch with me maybe for a couple months here and there because he was in Europe. And then we kind of just never talked again.
Did you ever toss another girlfriend his way so that she could...
I tried, but I think by then he was married. This was like years later, a couple years
And
later.
you still have all the stuff? Or did you
Oh,
sell
no, I
some
don't
of it?
have that stuff anymore.
What'd you do with it all?
I got rid of it.
Sold it or
Traded out, yeah.
Oh.
Well, I don't want to keep
So
stuff from
you
like
probably had
another
to buy
guy.
extra luggage to get home, right?
Oh yeah, I had to go through customs. I had all the tags were still on the clothes and everything. They had to check my bags.
Now, when that's happening, I mean, you get in the... I mean, are you like, girl, like what girlfriend gets to come over and fucking go through these bags with you after this trip to Europe?
Oh,
Why didn't you call me?
I know. That was so many years ago. I don't remember who was my friend back then.
Oh.
Yeah. But that honestly, there's so many guys like that. They just, it's not about, I wouldn't say they don't want to have sex with you. Like, they probably do. They don't even push it. They have so much money that they feel like you walking around in stuff that they bought you. Like, if they could see pictures of you in, like, the shoes that they bought you or the outfit, that's more to them. Like, they love that more than anything.
Oh, God. Well, to the people out there, I would love to wear your diamonds that you want to buy me. If that's good. And you can just watch me on this show and just know. I mean, it hurts. It's not great when you've been married for 20 years. I don't think there's like a lot of dudes that are like, oh my God, she's going to be winking at me like over the camera. But
See, my husband, he just got me this one.
Now that is stunning. That is like gorgeous.
It's
I
all
love
baguettes. And I have the necklace and the bracelet coming too.
Well, pretty nice. It's good that you got seated next to him.
Right. Exactly. I got a good one.
Yeah.
Yep.
You definitely did. I'm so happy you came. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you. Thanks
Amber.
for having
Obviously,
me.
people follow her on Amber Rose on her Instagram, see what she's up to. And
my
lots of-
OnlyFans.
yeah, check out
Subscribe
the
to my OnlyFans.
Yeah, geez, do it, people.
And her foot fetish OnlyFans.
We're gonna start something with these tootsies and be moving to Bel Air next door to you.
No, I'm coming back this way.
Oh, you are now.
Yes, I need the whole backyard.
You need
situation.
a big yard for these boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
good.
then when I drop the other stuff that I'm doing, I'll come back.
Absolutely.
We'll talk some
anytime.
more.
Absolutely, anytime. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you.
Well, if you've made it this far, you probably want to see more of me, hear more of me. Well, you can do that by joining Patreon. You go to heathermcdonald.net, click on Patreon. Every Friday, there's new episodes, plus so much extra content throughout the month up on the different tiers. You get all the back episodes. Also, I'm going to be in Miami at the Miami Improv on June 17th, 18th, and 19th. You go to heathermcdonald.net for those dates and tickets. Thank you, and congrats to Brittany and Jax of Vanderpump Rules. They had their little baby Cruz, and he's got lots of dark hair just like Jax.